Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. There's an update on our exciting time with our trucks at the moment. As you know, we have our ups and downs on, literally ups and downs, going up and down that mountain up to our house, which takes such an incredible toll on our vehicles. Now, probably half of the problem with that is that the vehicles that we have are not, or up to now, are not new. They are in the Philippines, if you're not familiar with this, they're what are called surplus. And these are rebuilt, supposedly reconditioned vehicles. Right, so that they come in, apparently, I may be wrong on this, but they come in, from what I've heard, from places, well, from Korea, from places abroad, but in the locale, like Japan, where they have very high standards for their vehicles there. So when a vehicle is, say, reaches a certain number of kilometers, then they have to be junked, apparently. Well, they're junked to us in the Philippines, and what they do is they put them in, they make sure that they're working, they repaint the body, which requires in some cases some assembly, and they do that, and then they sell it looking as if it's a new vehicle, which it's not. So that the fact is, you may drive away in something that looks really nice, but it may have had quite a beating, and we suspect that some of our vehicles have had such a beating. So came the point that we couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel on depending on a surplus vehicle. So we decided that we would buy new, and that of course is on another video. We bought what we thought would last us and give us reliable transportation for many years to come if we take care of it, and we will. But the other vehicles have, well, they've cost us a huge amount of money. You wouldn't believe how much money they've cost us. Somewhere between 80 and 100,000 pesos in the last month or two. And so it got to that point where, yes, there is a case for always repairing your vehicles and just keep repairing them. But out here, it's a huge amount of hassle when a vehicle breaks down, because we're up in the mountains. How do we get anybody to come up here? And so a vehicle, as we saw a little while ago, that the big blue vehicle, the big blue truck that we have, the Kia Bongo, was actually off the road for months. We didn't have the use of that vehicle, which was an expensive vehicle. So after you've had a few instances of that, for instance, we went several times to get what we thought was the right part in Tagbilaran, which is something like a 3-hour trip on a bus. An all-day thing, only to find that we didn't have the right part, and then to take the part back and get a refund and all of the hassle. Doesn't take any it doesn't take a psychic to realize that this is not going to work, because meantime we've still got stuff that we're trying to do. So what's our latest update? We have had the motor built on the Little Red, which is now running okay. We dropped it off today and they repaired the tailgate. It's a standby vehicle. Beth loves that truck and will not get rid of it. It represents a part of our lives which was a great struggle and a great success story for us. So the red is here to stay, and we will, over the next probably 6 months, we will start gradually upgrading it or regrading it back to what it used to look like when we first got it, before we started beating the life out of it. So that's what's happened there. Now, for those of you who have been here on the last few videos, you'll know that we had a cracked head happened on the Big Blue. So a cracked head is an expensive item. We talked to the mechanic, and the mechanic said, well, a new head is going to cost 25,000 pesos. But we could probably get one for maybe 10 or 15,000 if we buy something that's been recycled from a junkyard. We thought about that. It's very tempting. And then I thought, wait a minute, we're going down the same road again. So we bit the bullet, and we had him do the repair, and he fitted a brand new factory head, right, which didn't need skimming or fiddling about with. And we went today. We dropped the little red off to have the repair done on the tailgate, some welding that has to be done, which we'll pick up tomorrow. And we picked up the Big Blue, which is now running very, very nicely, but it costs us 38,000 pesos. That and 2 engine rebuilds in the last few months on the little red, plus before the head went and cracked on the Big Blue, we'd spent something in the region of, I think it was 15 or 15,000 plus on having it checked over. Had all of the oils replaced, all of the oils changed. That was everything, all right. And we had, what we tried to have was the whole vehicle checked, so that if there was anything that was likely to go wrong, we could do it before it broke down on top of the mountain. Well, we had the alignment done on the wheels, front wheels, at a place that does it professionally and with professional American quality equipment. So we felt very confident about that. And then we were taking our friend Steve and Marjorie back to their destination, which started at the port in Atafi. On the way home, it overheated, and that's where we found that the head was broken. We had to have it towed in, and we had to have the repair done, which, as I say, cost 38,000. But now it's actually running very, very nicely, and we are confident. There was an oil leak which was causing us some concern. They also did that, and coincidentally a welding job on the hinges of the tailgate. So we're actually in good shape now, and would hope that with the new truck, which we can use for our, let's say, our private leisure type of thing, where it's just the two of us riding or driving, then that will be light use and not heavy off-road stuff, even though the vehicle is a Raptor and certainly well capable of doing some heavy off-road driving. But anyway, we're kind of jealously guarding the condition now and going out and polishing it at 1 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that, just between you and me. We seem to be okay now, and so that's what we're looking at doing. We have the red as a standby, we have the blue to do the work that's needed in delivering materials and stuff like that when the occasion rises. Plus we have my Sunday driving job, which is picking up kids and getting them to church and getting them home again. Well, we haven't been too too happy about the fact that the truck bed is open. So we've been in today to talk to a welder and discuss a design for putting a full canopy on the back so that they're not in the open, and making it safe. We had a bus which we donated for a greater cause, we felt, to the Village of Hope orphanage, where they have some 40-something children. So we felt that that was a good cause. We also have it sounds like we have a collection of cars, which actually I suppose we do, except that the little Volkswagen is one that I had long before I ever came to Bohol. I had it, bought it for very little, and spent 100,000 on it, 100,000 pesos, having it repainted, the mechanics done on it. I had all of the upholstery, the interior upholstery, all redone, and it was looking quite beautiful. Beth and I went up, had quite an adventure by going to the other side of Anglis, Mabalacat in fact, and we picked the VW up and we drove it back down here using 2 different ferries in order to do that. And then we couldn't get it up to the house, so we parked it. A big mistake. We parked it, and it started life there in its parking place as a beautiful thing, and it ended up looking as if chickens had been kept in it. We're now having a little work done on that now, so that it can be driven up on our regraded roads up to the house, where at least we can keep it safe and do some work on it bit by bit. Okay, so that's all. That's where we stand at the moment. Let's look forward, I hope, to certainly we will look forward to doing some drives in our new truck, which we are so very thrilled with, and we will hope that a lighter use of the other 2 trucks, the blue will come in for the most wear, and the red will just be like a standby, and we'll hope that everything will work out on that. It's great. The VW is just enough work on it to get it up to the house so that we can put it under a tarpaulin, block it up so the new tyres that we just fitted are not just sitting there getting flat on one end. And we'll look at perhaps doing that as a project in the future. Thanks a lot for being with me. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines. Don't forget to like, comment. I noticed that some videos have got the comments back. Not that it seemed to matter, because you've been contacting me very, very well by messenger and by email. So that and making comments on Facebook, it's all worked out fine. Thanks for being with me. Bye for now.